alive.
Well, we can bring two chairs up next to each other.
We were gonna do it one at a time.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
However you choose.
So, okay, so this is Senate Education Committee, March 13th. And today we have a light agenda, but we have, it's great. We have two students who are both student board members from Essex West and Westburg, who are coming perhaps in that capacity, to give it some response to their take on some parts of Act 73. I'm not sure what exactly you want to talk about, but that's up to you. We'll just start with Emma, and you have to help me pronounce your name. Okay, Kapahudi, just the way it looks, actually. Okay, so and so Emma, you are from, do you live in the town of Westburg?
Yeah, I live in Essex Junction.
That's the junction. Okay. Why don't we actually, we'll first introduce ourselves. Oh, you welcome back. Ian.
So, from Wyndham County, nice to meet you.
Good afternoon, Dave Reeves, representing Rutland County.
So former son from the Bennington Central District.
Sergeant Jerry Williams, also from Rutland District.
Steve Peppernick from Madison County.
And
Keisha Ron Hinsdale, Chittenden, South Dakota, and it was nice to meet you in California. Nice to meet you.
so the floor is yours.
I'm here on my photos.
Perfect.
What year are you?
I'm a junior.
You're-
Okay.
All right.
Okay. My name is Emma Capelluti, and I serve as one of the student representatives on the Essex Westford School District School Board. As a student, I see every day how important special education services are for my peers. These services are in jeopardy because of the upcoming Act 73. In our district alone, 31% of students receive support through an IEP or a 504 plan. That's more than 1 in 3 students. Over 1,000 kids whose success depends on these services. Special education also represents about 1/3 of our district's budget, because supporting students with different needs requires real resources, real staff, and time. Under Act 73, EWSD could lose nearly $6 million due to the Formula Foundation. Maintenance of effort requires us to meet the previous year's expenditure, which, if not met, would lose an additional $1.4 million in federal funding for special education. But in the interest of budget change, it's fewer services and fewer supports for students who already face barriers in school. Our district already works. We emerged under Act 46, serve nearly 4,000 students, and our outcomes exceed the state average. Please protect special education funding and the students who rely on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Go away.
And outcomes from our part.
We have a couple of comments or questions. So I think your point about the importance of the maintenance of effort and not using the money for failure to meet that effort is a good one. And one that, as we go forward with this, need to think carefully about. So your point is well taken about the need for that maintenance of effort. Anybody else?
We do have just a quick question. So to Sheriff Armgrove's point, not really sure maintenance of effort, why your district would lose 1.4 million in federal funding and how we can affect federal funding aspect of this particular issue.
I'm not sure on the details of it. I can get back to you on that.
I think so. I think that
Pretty standard.
Yes, there's a federal requirement that you don't spend less on special ed than you did before, or you get penalized. And so it's called maintenance of effort. And so you have to spend at least the same amount, I believe, or you get penalized. And so your caution to us is to make sure that we don't force you into tripping that and losing the $1.4 million in federal funding. So, yes.
So then your point is that the new formula, foundation formula for special education would sum up to 6 million less than you currently receive, than your district currently receives. Okay, right, I'm following you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cyrus Lynch. I am also a junior at Essex High School, and I am a student representative on the Essex Western School District School Board. I have the same topic as Emma. Thank you very much. I am here to address my deep concerns surrounding the problems with special education funding that are associated with the new foundation formula that would be implemented under Act 73. Foundation formula, as written, will cut significant funding for special education, and EWSD will be forced to replace these funds or lose $1.4 million of government money. The Essex Western School District was, just last year, forced to cut almost $6 million from our budget, which has had undeniable effects on our community. We cut 100 staff positions, closed a school, and made many other sacrifices. To maintain our special education funding under the foundation formula, something we are required by law to do, we would have to cut another $6 million from our general education budget. $6 million is over a quarter of Essex Westford School District's entire special education budget. To make up this money, what would we have to cut? Taking $6 million out of our budget would be the equivalent of cutting our entire student transportation budget and our entire athletics budget. It would still fail to fill the deficit. Special education is an important facet of the education of hundreds of students across EWSD, over 30% of all students in the district. I personally benefit from special education as a student with a 504 plan, which gives students with disabilities the equitable opportunities they need to learn effectively in the classroom. Having this plan allows me to make the most of my education and has undeniably improved my experience as a student in EWSD. While underfunding special education will obviously have the most impact on students, it also affects staff across the district. My mother works in special education, managing and supporting students with 504 plans, and I see personally how hard she works every day to ensure that all of these kids get what they need. She loves her job, but her caseload is already huge, and I know that cutting this much money from special education would be devastating. It is easy to think of the grand scheme of things, monetary effects that will play out over years and years, but this thinking neglects students in our school right now. Our dedicated approach to special education is one of the things I value most about my district. For example, our high school offers programs that encourage both special education students and non-special education students to collaborate and learn from each other in subjects such as art, music, cooking, and physical education. Without the funding that supports our wonderful and dedicated students and staff, programs like this would not be possible. You are claiming to develop and enact Act 73 in pursuit of equity for all students, but a plan to reduce funding for some in order to average out support for all hurts the hundreds of students who already rely on these services. I agree that we need to promote equity and reduce costs, but these goals will not be achieved by harming students in our top performing districts. We need to focus on lifting all schools up to higher standards with greater equity and affordability in mind, instead of hobbling Vermont education. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Yeah.
Well, I think you brought up a lot of really important points, and I also just think it's great when students testify. So this is meant to sort of bring you into the full conversation. I've really been a champion of the foundation formula, regardless of the ultimate level we decide. I know that's a really important detail, but you said, we need to make sure we bring all students up to these standards. Right now, without a foundation formula, communities often vote their budgets down based on their own political will of how much they think they want to raise property taxes, even if their property tax bill honestly has nothing to do with their school vote. So the challenge for us is how to set it at an amount that is generous, which the foundation formula we approved is the most generous in the country. But how we approve an amount that's generous, both for the base amount and also for special education. But do it so that we're also telling districts, you can't underspend on your kids. Everybody's paying now based somewhat on their ability, and I think we need to fix that part for every student to get equal dollars for their education. So I just wanted to invite you sort of into our world this session of how we create equity when some districts have the political will to spend much higher and some their political will is to spend much lower.
Well, and some of those districts are some of the poorest districts in the state as well.
It often relates to they don't think they can afford their budget.
Yeah, even though, as you suggest,
They're paying for it
not,
anyway.
there's not necessarily a connection, but anyway.
Yeah. Mhm.
But still, the points are good for us to hear.
Mhm.
And I'll echo, Senator Lonsdale's comment about how great it is to have students come in and testify. Matters a lot to the committee. Yes.
So I'll ask you the challenging question. Again, appreciate you guys coming in. It's one thing to identify a problem. It's another thing to identify a solution. Can you give us a sense, your thoughts on the solution to the problem that you've identified?
That's the same question.
I think I would personally need more time to get back to you with an in-depth answer. But I can certainly do that soon.
I'd love like a student version of our committee that's like wrestling the same thing.
You'll see that, yeah,
Studies, yeah.
we know what's wrong, but fixing it is, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the other, we're having a discussion now.
Yeah.
We're having a discussion. So one of the challenges for the committee, and Senator Ron has really alluded to this, is that we saw in 2024, especially kind of a tax revolt and a lot of school budgets getting voted down, which does a lot of harm as well. And so the concern is that if you don't fix the system somehow and make it work at a level that voters feel they can afford, then we're going to go through that cycle over and over and have ups and downs. And so we're trying to figure out a way to have the rate of increase of school budgets go at a rate that voters will accept, make it more uniform, as Senator Pinston was suggesting, and still do it in a way that hopefully we can say is improving education, the educational system and quality. So that's the challenge we're facing. But we also don't want to make mistakes. So having you come in and raise issues with us about your concerns, so that is, but I also appreciate Senator Weeks' challenge to you, because we, sometimes it's being able to identify the problem is one thing, and then thinking, okay, what do we do with that? So if you wanted to think about it more and be in touch with us, we could either have you on by Zoom a different day, or you could send us something. That's up to you, but that would be great.
Yes, if you and your student council can get together and see what you come up for answers for us. Great. I see, IEPs are one of the drivers of how things have gotten so expensive, because the individual learning plan is geared to one individual, and it takes a lot more to one than it does 15 or 20. However, we want to make sure every individual is getting the same education. So there's where the problem lies. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
I forgot to hand these out. Would anyone?
Yeah, they'll take a pass.
Oh, I.
Oh.
That is.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, you guys are enough room? Yeah.
So
Or recycle.
thanks to both of you. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Ray.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I can use this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Take care.
You too.
All right. So we have with us Julie involved, you'll have to help with that in a minute. So, I got an email, from, Julie, suggesting that on the map that we are taking our looks at, that we thought we had, or we wanted to make a suggestion about what might make more sense for her district. So, so Julie, if you just introduce yourself for the record, and then, give us your advice.
Thank you for having me. For the record, my name is Julie Regenball. I'm superintendent of the Missisquoi Valley School District. Here we serve Swanton, Highgate, and Franklin, and all of our pre-K through 6 elementary schools go to Missisquoi Valley Union Middle and High School, which is a 7th through 12 school. I have been lucky enough to live here in Swanton for 23 years, serve as an administrator in Franklin County, and merge in 2 school districts. I've been here in Missisquoi for 8 years. I was hired the year the state board decided to merge through Act 46 what was Franklin Northwest into our new unified school district. And as I referenced, I do want to be clear from the outset. I'm happy to answer questions about my letter. In no way am I here to testify about the status quo or to have opinions about supervisory unions versus districts or the map itself and the pros and cons of that. I'm really just here to as I had questions about why, to me, it did not make sense for us to be part of a supervisory union number 11. And a couple of reasons for that. Truly, I think we did merge in that process through Act 46. It was a tough one in our community. People were not for it, although now folks that were against that merger admit that this has been successful and that we've become a much more efficient and effective organization and are able to provide more for our students. And I love that that is the sentiment here. That makes me very proud of the work that our school boards, our leaders, our teachers, that everyone in our community, our families have done. I recognize that this is an incredibly heavy lift that you have in front of you. And so this is not a criticism of the map in general. I am concerned about a couple of things. One, during the state board merger, Sheldon was removed from what was once Franklin Northwest Supervisory Union because it has a different operating system. They were K-8 with school choice for high school, and we are a pre-K through 12 single district system. So to me, that really doesn't make sense in your supervisory union configuration. I certainly understand you're looking at the islands, you're looking at places that have choice and putting them together. We do not have choice except within our own district. Also, I think my next biggest concern is CTE. We are part of the Northwest Career and Technical Center region with Maple Run. We send a lot of students there. We want to strengthen that even further. We have our own. Yeah. Oh, please.
Maple Run's in what town is that in? What town is the CTE in?
Maple Run is St. Albans City Town in Fairfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So BFA and MVU, although they're rivals, they are aligned in terms of their technical center education. And that's an important alliance for us. We are both pre-K through 12 education systems. We have our ag program that is a comprehensive high school model, which means we can't receive students, but we are a tech center, a standalone just for diversified agriculture. An alignment with our tech center would actually be able to strengthen that. We could partner more strongly, and I think that would be a definite benefit to our students. So this is not about we don't want to merge. Of course, I know you're hearing that from lots of people. It may make sense. It is your remit to look at that. Just the supervisory union model in our place, I look at those that you have listed as not merging yet. in your map with gray towns, many of which are smaller than our school district. We currently serve 1,889 students. Certainly understand that that may need to get bigger by adding other places, but my testimony really is that this particular configuration does not make logistical sense. We do not share any operating similarities with those other districts within the Supervisory Union 11.
Okay, so Mrs. Goy, remind us of the three towns you said them.
Sure.
I didn't have SU 11 in front of me when you started. So
That's okay.
uh,
It's right in the middle of the SU. It's Franklin, Highgate, Swanton.
Franklin, Highgate, Swan. Okay.
Yep.
I haven't figured out which of those three they are, but yeah. So you're an SD right now. The three of you form an SD, right?
We did, yes. Through
So
the state
you're-
board.
So you're currently a supervisory district, and you think and your suggestion is that we not merge you into an SU. If anything, you should be, I think you're saying, with the gray area.
Correct.
Yeah.
And understanding that, you know, in your proposal, you're looking at then those gray area districts may need to look at partners. And I'm not here to speculate what partnerships make the most sense. I haven't talked, you know, our boards have not conferred with one another. That's work that would be to follow. But yes, that would be my ask of the committee, is that as you're working through this, Mrs. Goy, makes more sense to me to be a gray area.
You're doing what we wanted people to do, which is come in and say, this makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, hear you noted. Any questions? Yeah.
So, thank you. So you represent 3 communities now in your district. How many schools does that equate to?
How many students?
Schools.
Oh, schools. We have 4 schools. An elementary school in each town, Franklin, Highgate, Swanton, and MVU.
Okay, so 1 high school, 3 elementary schools.
Correct.
Thank you.
And then total student count.
1889.
So how many in the high school?
750-ish in that range. It's a middle high school, so it's 712.
Okay,
The
712.
high school itself has over 500 students.
And how small
Mid-size.
how small is the smallest of your elementary schools?
Our smallest elementary school is our highest performing school. It is Franklin, and they have 130 plus students pre-K through 6. Our largest is Swanton, and they have over 600 students. Highgate's right in the middle, 280 something. So we really, and they all go to MVU.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, another question.
Okay, so 1 high school, 3 elementary schools. As a professional superintendent, I assume you've been in the education business probably for a career. Do you
Yes.
feel you can manage more schools?
Yes, I listen, superintendents manage many schools. I mean, heck, some of them in other parts of the country have hundreds of schools, right? But then there's layers of bureaucracy with that. So I think that's what you all have in front of you to consider is the size we're at 1,800. I have a very lean administrative team. They are highly skilled. And we all work very closely together. And I can be reading to 4th graders and testifying with you all in the same week, right? So you know, it's much more hands-on in a school district of this size, and you can actually move without delegating to lots of assistant superintendents. If we had a countywide district, which I know lots of people have talked about, in some ways that may make sense or not make sense. You then just have to weigh how many more layers of administration to do the work of running schools and making sure students have what they need. I think that we're very efficient And we don't have lots of layers of administration. I don't have an assistant superintendent at this size. And I certainly understand that we may need to get bigger. It's not about me. I'm at a certain end of my career. I can look back and think about what's best for kids in Vermont and not be thinking about myself or just my own district. But I do care very much about the children of this community and their educational outcomes. So that's why I wrote the email.
I appreciate that. And Senator Heffernan has a question second, but I was going to say, we have heard that you're echoing testimony we've heard before about and I'm not, I don't know where I land on all this, but you just, I was saying you're echoing testimony we've heard from at least one of the superintendent about you begin to get
Right.
too much larger, then you end up with middle management. And right now you don't have any middle management. So we'll just note that that's a point we understand. So Senator Heffernan.
Price per student. Average price.
Our spending, we did not pass our budget, so we're going out again. Our proposed spending per long-term weighted ADM is $1,173. So we are one of the lower spending schools, more than 8%.
12,000?
$12,000 per student. Yep. Yeah.
Like if you're doing it for 1,200.
No, that'd be swell. I apologize for that. We're in the 20th percentile or below for our spending per long-term weighted NEM and moving our outcomes toward the average range and moving in that direction. It's never good enough, but we're moving in the right direction.
Any other questions? So yes.
Yeah, I'm just curious if your school district has initiated any conversations with nearby school districts regarding the BOCES concept.
No, we haven't, because we're certainly intrigued by the idea. I was a special ed administrator in St. Albans for 10 years, and I was interim superintendent there as well before the merger. We certainly talk a lot about the need for shared services. Looking at what the configuration ends up looking like as a state, if we were a county system, I don't know that we'd need a BOCES. We'd probably have a shared service. So it really depends on what the map and the governance system ends up looking like to see where the sharing needs to happen. But it's certainly an intriguing idea. I think that schools like ours, I can't find a nurse right now. There are speech and language services that we have to contract out with companies to provide. BOCES would be very helpful, and as long as the gaps are analyzed and they're providing the services that are really needed.
Mind if I entertain what I was talking about for one system?
You can ask whatever you want.
Okay, because
Committee
thank you, Chuck. So I proposed one unified school system.
Yes.
And from there, it breaks down. It's like you have one superintendent that up top, and then basically break down to admin, but it'd be another superintendent broke into like areas that you have that would rate it per how many students they have to take care of. So each administrator, let's say 2,000 to 4,000 students. That way, everything, all of our losing my words here, shared services would be under one, where that if you needed a nurse, you don't have to worry about another district. You call it if somebody has a nurse that you can use. Would that be possible? Do you believe that would be a good way to go as well? That you'd still be responsible for 2,000 children to 4,000 students, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But you're all under one unified school system.
I don't know that I can really comment effectively on that. It's an intriguing idea. I did watch your presentation. I don't know whether the layers of bureaucracy would be and logistics would be a barrier or not. Those would be my questions.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
I think that's it, but your testimony's been helpful. That's good. You're doing exactly, like I said, you're doing exactly what we wanted people to do. So by the way, pass the word around to your colleagues. If they look at the map and go, we should be here, we need to hear that.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And I wish you luck in this tricky endeavor.
Okay, thank you. So, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think every other committee is, trying to get bills out right now, but we did it early. That's how efficient we are. We got them done. So we are